Hey everybody, this is Rachel Archelaus. I am the creator of the Intuitive Art Academy, and we are here with you on the Intuitive Art Show. So I've got a guest today. He's going to be talking about all sorts of stuff, whatever is most exciting to him, but he's also really well known for teaching people about anxiety, about bringing forth their gifts from their other lives, also known as past lives. He has extensive energy work training, which I know he probably wants to talk about a little bit because he was really excited about what just happened to him. Yeah. He's just learning about. And we really want to engage with you. So give us your questions, put them in the chat, do all the blabby kind of things that you want to do, tweet about it, invite your friends. And we're just so excited. We will be doing some intuitive art. If you don't know how, that's totally okay. I got you covered. And if you want to learn how after the show, so you can draw along with what we drew with, go to intuitiveartacademy.com and take a free class. All right, so that kind of covers my area. Harry, can you kind of tell us about what you're doing right now and where you've been? Kind of, give us your background and let us know who you are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've been in like you said, the alternative field for almost 20 years now, and I've started coming from the spiritual more side. I read about 20 years ago, I read some books about past life regression and all this kind of metaphysical area, and I've known that I had that feeling, that intuitiveness, that I need to be doing this work. And I've studied some hypnotherapy, I've studied some psychology, and really turned it into a profession, some life coaching, everything that has to do with throughout the years connected with it. As I was working with it and working with people on the higher, more soul healing level, I realized that a lot of it is still tied up to this earth and to this life. And it was hard for people to let go of things. And my general goal is to help people reach better and better versions of themselves, and just like higher and higher levels within themselves. And I started looking at that again on a spiritual level and realizing, well, first of all, we can't get people up if they're completely bogged down, as I call it, in the trenches, and really stuck in those levels of fear and anxiety and doubt and fear, and that is just like completely limiting them and stopping them from experiencing who they really are and really touching upon their higher self and their greater self. So I started looking at it from that level down, from soul level down all the way to the physical level. So the way I approach my healing is on all levels of your being. So it's physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. When you think about combining those, and as I saw it, I really saw that there's this major thing that is anxiety, fear, and trauma that is just holding people back in such a hard way, and keeping them completely away from who they can be, and not free from all this stuff. So I wrote the book, and I've had many clients, hundreds and thousands of clients, helping them in this realm and in all those levels. So as I started looking at that, I figured that there's so much to contribute, so much to help in all those levels, and all of them intertwine. It is all connected, and we cannot only treat one area without really taking care of the rest of them. So when I started moving more and combining more and more aspects of what it is, I realized that there's this really tough area that brings everybody down, that is anxiety and fear. So I decided to write a book about it and how I approach, and again, it's from all those different levels. So I just noticed that somebody already wrote something in the chat here. I am an empath with a severe anxiety and panic attacks and depression, but I've learned about how to control my emotions and the energies that people put off towards me. This is really rather complex, and I want to start by really approaching my take on emotions and how we experience emotion, because I think it's a lot about that. It's hard for us to look at emotions, and unless we take again a more soulful look at it, and we got to realize there's the two ends of the emotional spectrum. One is love, and all the way to the other end is fear. And recognizing that the further and further you get away from the love, you start experiencing that sense of disconnect, of feeling that you are not connected to your own self, to your source, to your life, to your wellness. And this is really the problem. This is the kind of indication that you are off target, you are off of who you are, and your connection to yourself. Because when you are connected in love, I mean, and I'm sure most of you people that are on this call have experienced deep experiences of connecting with themselves, or connecting with God, source, whatever you want to call it. And when you are in that connection, in that space of love and connection, you just don't experience fear. You don't experience all those little things that we feel down here at the trenches when we are dealing with the 3D kind of life that we have. So moving away from that, again, further and further away from love into the realms and into the negative emotions and fear is where we can suddenly get stuck and feel that really, really difficult. The life is becoming really unpleasant, disconnected, feeling lonely, upset, helpless, and that part that we are stuck in is just we have to kind of realize that it is in somewhat an illusion, because it's not really who we are. We are part of that creator, part of that love, part of that deeper part sense of who we are, and that's what I call the greater self, and the higher self, soul, oversoul, whatever you want to call it. It's just our parts of our greater self. So what I like to do lately, mostly, is help people connect with their higher self, and help them reach that deep emotion of love. And when you think about, like, in anything else in this universe, in this what physics teach us, is that actually we have to let go. Even thinking about it as two opposing kind of feelings. It's actually really only love. It's only one emotion, and varying degrees of moving away from it, like more and more away from it. And as we see in physics, we see that part of, like, there is no cold, there is only the heat and the absence of heat. There is light and the absence of light. There is no darkness, really. It's just emptiness. And we know that. So there is only love in the varying degrees as we get further and further away from that sense of love. Again, this is not romantic love. This is more in a spiritual love of feeling that oneness and of everything that is.
Well, I think it would work for romantic love too, like,
absolutely.
Like, think about a couple in a long-term relationship, maybe in the beginning it's like that honeymoon phase where they're, very much experiencing that love because they're so connected, they're so open, but then over time they kind of distance themselves a little bit, and it really is more like an absence. So I could see that.
Yeah. Well, in that case, it's there is that period of completely enmeshing your energies in that kind of falling in love part, and then you realize, okay, we are still too separate. But there is a deep way of approaching it and allowing the love to continue and deepen and continue and move forward in a way that allows you. Because if you think about it, it's a lot about trust, and when trust is about love and trusting that the universe and life and the partner you have will give you what you want and be there, even if you're at that moment not there. And so giving that trust and allowing yourself to be you as well, not just the enmeshed, combined thing that you feel when you're just completely in love, and allowing yourself to be two individuals that are deeply connected and have that deeper meeting on all levels of your being. And that is really what sustains it and make it a more a deeper connection. Mm-hmm. So, and a lot of people talk about trauma, and that is something I love to help people with, because someone just made a comment about a traumatic experience, and unfortunately, there's a lot of them. And what I want to approach about that is what I want to talk about that feeling of having a traumatic experience is knowing that every emotion, every experience in life is here to teach us something. It's here to bring us a deeper awareness and understanding. And unfortunately, I'll give you the example of a little kid. If you have a toddler and try to teach it about not getting burned from a candle, from a stove, you can talk to them forever and explain to it in so many different ways. But until that happens at once, and hopefully it's going to be a very brief once, they'll know, once they touch the candle once, they'll know, I'm not going to touch it ever again. So unfortunately, through pain and through suffering, we actually learn and we progress a lot faster, especially if we learn the wisdom from it. And this is something that I do a lot is really with clients is realizing and recognizing that the wisdom and the potential in every emotion, and there is potential in every emotion for greater wisdom and for growth. And I know it's hard, and a lot of people say like, I just don't want to feel anymore. I don't want to feel this way anymore. And this is really hard for me to hear because people just don't want to feel, and they go through all this process of going and medicating themselves and just numbing themselves out just to avoid feeling this way anymore, or doing all this avoidance kind of behavior, avoiding certain people, or avoiding certain places, or anything that reminds them of the trauma, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. So it is important to start moving away from that. Someone said, I'm sorry to get teared up. So okay, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get distracted here. I'm going to try and finish my thought. As we approach emotions, there is something to learn from every one of them. And the lessons, unfortunately, will keep on repeating until you, so all this avoidance is not really serving you, because once you learn the wisdom and the teaching that those emotions are here to teach you, and the patterns in life, and that's when you can really be free of it. Mm-hmm. I'll give you the example that you know this on a deeper level, that when you forgive someone, no matter how atrocious whatever they did, when you forgive someone, you are freeing yourself from that burden. You are freeing yourself from the anger, from the shame, from the frustration, from the bitterness that comes with it. So in the process of, again, this is a lot more complex process of allowing yourself to reach that point of forgiveness for someone, but it is reachable, it is achievable, and it will free you, and that's really the key. So allow yourself to know that this is deeper and deeper levels and layers within yourself that you can reach of understanding yourself better, understanding and freeing yourself from patterns and themes that keep on repeating in this life, and sometimes it's coming from other lives. And this is where it becomes, again, I like to take it there a lot, because much of the themes that you are learning here are themes that you have come into this life planning to experience, planning to bring into your awareness, and learning how to do this right here in the trenches, in the real life, in this level. I'll give you the example that I have on one of my other books, The Change, which was really quite an astonishing case, in my opinion. And since then, I've had several others in a similar way. I've had this woman who was she was only like 31. She was very young, and she came to me with a pretty horrible diagnosis from her doctors that basically told her that her ovaries are shut down, and she has the hormonal level of a 90-year-old. So pretty much her entire reproductive and the hormonal system has shut down. They're going to put her on that was back in Boston, and that the top of the field in the world. That's what they told her. Like, that, forget it, you cannot have children in this life. You will not have children, and this is what's happening. We'll put you on a hormone therapy. And she knew, she was very intuitive, and she knew that something else can be done. And we start doing all kinds of healing on this world, this life, and other lives, and we reached through a process that is called quantum healing hypnosis therapy, which I have trained on. We've reached and connected with several different of her past lives, and which realized that one of her first lives as a human, she have experienced losing a child, a baby. And since then, it was so traumatic for her soul that she chose to not have any children in any of the other lives that she have experienced.
And just to note there, like that happens a lot with everything: money, power,
yes,
love, all
yes.
of that. Yeah.
Exactly. And when we start doing that, and we start exploring that further, and we start healing that part and connecting with that life and with that understanding of what happened, and start releasing that. And we released several other things had to do with this life, with abuse and unpleasantness. So again, a lot of traumatic experiences. and we went through the process of clearing it all completely. And of course, thankfully, it was also able to verify that not even a week later, she had a testing, and suddenly, like, no, poof, everything is back. And the doctors are like, we don't know how to explain it, and she didn't even bother explaining them what exactly she did. Now, like a month or two later, what happens is it shut down again. So we went even further and even deeper, and talked with her and with her higher self, and realized what's happening, and realized that this is the first time in her life now she had a partner that she felt that she wanted to have children with. And it was one of those fears that have brought upon her that possibility, and again, the fear that it might happen again. And there was other fears relating to her abuse and other problems that it had brought, and deeper understanding. And at that point, we did several deeper stuff, and we wanted to connect with what was the lessons and what was the purpose of that, of bringing that into her life. And it was interesting regarding the sexual abuse that and it's hard to hear sometimes, but she chose to have this experience in this life because she'll know that through this pain she'll grow and be helping others, to help them. And she has grown into become a counselor, and she's helping many others in that way. So she is doing her purpose in that way. What was interesting too is that she had other options before she came to this life. She had options of what is she going to do and how is she going to experience it. And one was in a very young age, and experiencing that way by being safe as you think it might be. Or the other option would be at age 19, being raped and killed and murdered. So the soul have chosen to have that other option in which you will be able to help others and have them heal from similar things. So this is really kind of, again, going really deep there and understanding what is the soul purpose and the purpose of this life, and how is it helping this way. What we did, another interesting thing we did about it is I brought in to speak with the soul of the unborn child, and we decided to do that and really have her experience. Again, I don't do the talking. She's experiencing it. This is the beautiful thing about it, and we wanted to have that. That beautiful soul, and until like, no, it's going to be a male. They already made a decision. It's going to be a male, and it's going to be. I asked her to give her tips of how to make sure this will be a successful pregnancy and a successful life, and everything will go smoothly. So she did get all the feedback and all the things and all the love and support and knowing that he's going to be with her, and that's that was just a beautiful session. Of course, everything came back afterwards. And now her child, I think, is like 4 or 5 years old, and that's just it's beautiful to see it. And they sent me the picture of when she was pregnant and when he was born, and it just opens my heart. I love seeing that kind of stuff. So,
nice.
So
Baby
this
is asking for your contact info. So why don't I give her your web address, and you do Skype sessions, right?
Yes. I do a lot of my programs, most of my things I do Skype and on telephone, whatever you choose, and we can do that all over the world. So know that is possible. And yeah, my information, HarryKroner.com, has all my information, all my contact information, and you can reach me there. I do work with many people on many different subjects, and it depends on exactly what the service and what we do is how we chose how to take it from there. But it is quite fascinating. I do have some videos on that in my website, and you can reach it there. So let me try and address some of the questions that people have here.
Sure. And I just want to say, I love how we go deep really quickly. You know, when you're really intuitive, you can just connect with people instantly. Like when I just met Harry a couple weeks ago, and when I saw him, I was like, oh, he's somebody I'd want to know. And he felt the same about me. And it's really cool because, you know, I don't know, I just love these conversations. So thanks for going deep so quickly. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for answering these questions. I really appreciate it. Yeah,
my pleasure. Yeah, I want to address being an empath and how it starts with, like, how when you start being more and more intuitive, when you are on that path, on a spiritual path, it is rather difficult to be open and being subjected to many of those things it is tough. It is tough to be in that place, and it throws you into this kind of tumultuous experiences. One day you're up, totally up and feeling fantastic. One day down. So it is really important to allow yourself to know that it's a lot about centering, a lot about connecting, and strengthening your center, aligning yourself with your purpose and with yourself, and doing a lot of protection and a lot of daily connection. And I think you mentioned, I was, as I was trying to call you and dial you and all that stuff, I heard you were saying connecting with the earth, doing some activity. And I just finished an amazing week of energy training and healing. Phenomenal stuff, really, really high level, very high dimensions, and very, very, that will totally bring your life into the next level, creating your energy body and getting ready for ascension in more and more ways. And it's always important, but what lately I've seen is a lot of people who are dabbling in this and are connecting to energies here and now, they have a hard time in discerning what is in their highest good, and start dabbling with different things and starting messing around with energies, and I'm not sure if this is a good energy, what's coming in, this is a good entity, bad entity, and start really messing around and pushing away things that are actually good for them and bringing in stuff that's bad for them, and really playing with fire. And it's really, I think, essential for people to know that you need to tread cautiously, not with fear, because the fear is actually holding you back in that way too, but really making sure that you are bringing deeper understanding into what you're doing, how you're doing, and make sure you're playing safe. Make sure you are bringing. So let me explain a little more about this. It's amazing how people have a hard time sometimes asking what is best for me. What is, like, should I do this? Should I do that? And really get lost in their head, or trying to reach their heart, and it's hard to reach the heart and the soul. So allow yourself to present simple questions that have a clear answer, such as, is this in my highest good?
Mm-hmm. Feel in your body. Do you feel good after you ask that?
Right. And again, I'd like to teach that to people, and I teach automatic writing, and I teach how to move out of the head, because the head has an enormous amount of list of pros and cons, and what's good, what's not, what other people think, and all kinds of negative influences that you're not even aware that you have within you or within your head. So allow yourself to move out of that, and I like to make kind of quick connection into the heart and soul, and asking things on that level. And it's important to do that, and it's important to clear away and protect yourself, and do daily protections and daily rituals that enrich you and connect you to the earth and the sky and to everything that you are, really just connecting within.
Mm-hmm. Learn intuitive drawing.
Yes, intuitive drawing, absolutely, because I think it's moving and expressing and moving it out of just those realms. And I always encourage people to do that, either draw or write after they have a session, or after they listen to the session again that we had, is to journal about it, draw what they saw, so they can really integrate it more on the, it brings it down from that, again, just something in the ethereal, like a dreamlike state, into something more concrete, something that they can and as they do it, as you know very well, in the process of doing so, even more understanding, even more clarity can come into you. So let me just see, a lot of things are hidden in the subconscious and soul. Yeah, absolutely. Well, spiritually awakened people can reach it, and the subconscious and the soul have a lot of things, and we have to be, again, do it. I recommend doing it with someone who knows what they're doing, and not just like dabble with it yourself without too much.
Yes, for people who are watching the replay, let's read that aloud, because it's a good.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's a good comment. A lot of things are hidden in our subconscious and soul that only the spiritually awakened individuals can train to help their soul progress as well. So everyone has access to what they need to know, but if you feel called to work with a mentor or a healer, then do it.
Yes.
And just vet them out. Like, make sure you really have a strong resonance. Make sure that they are committed, that they are on their own path. They're not just putting up their shingle once in a while to make money. Make sure they know what they're doing, for sure. Yeah.
And a lot of what I like to do, and I like to focus on that, is actually teaching methods, teaching ideas, and teaching people how to do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm absolutely right about that. It is all within. It is all within yourself. But you do need to know how to do it. You need to learn how to bring it from within you in the best of ways. And sometimes you do need to help. Again, just the guidance, and so you can learn how to be it. And a lot of times, especially when we're doing, like, again, more deeper soul work, what I like to bring up is it's very hard. And I know that you would have experienced it, Rachel. It's very hard for everyone to be the experiencer of kind of deep spiritual experiences, and also the manager of the experience at the same time. When you go into an experience, it's kind of hard. You're like, whoa, this is happening to me. Like, wow, this is a lot. And like, okay, and you don't know what happens next, or what you do next. And it's really good to have someone that is to help you in this process, that can help you and guide you, and like, okay, let's move on, let's do this, and knowing what to do when. So it's nice, especially in the beginning, especially when you are opening and further, and to be honest, I mean, we never stop progressing. We never stop moving forward. Mm-hmm. And that is really an important thing. So whatever step you're in, always have someone who already been there to help you in the progression. And I want to give a word.
Already are, spiritually awakened, even though that's a progression. Okay. Being able to relax through the process by having someone facilitating something for you is like an immense gift, because if you don't have to constantly be, I don't know, there's just something relaxing about it. I had an experience last year where somebody was helping me, coaching me through some bigger spiritual awakenings, and it just felt amazing to be able to, like, just be held by the person's space. I felt like I got a lot more out of the experience because I was just, I was just receiving.
Yeah.
So no matter where you are in the journey, having someone coaching you or guiding you is definitely worthwhile.
Absolutely. It's holding space is a big thing about it. And as I do this, I also, again, it's a lot of that's happening. As you know, we open portals, we activate certain levels, certain dimensions as we open them up. And it's good to do with someone who knows. But I want to also mention that as we grow and what I'm lately really into is again, opening and integrating more of your higher self. So in the energy healing that I just learned, what was beautiful is that as we did this, we allowed higher and higher versions of yourself, again, just higher parts within your higher self, to be integrated into the body, into this body, and basically raising your vibration that way, basically permanently. That's a good thing about it. And moving forward in that way. So the approach is also, for me, is very intellectual in that way, and experiential as far as the past lives and connecting with spirit guides and spiritual guidance, and inner wisdom, but also on just a vibration level, which is eventually it's all what it is, and connecting with that. So the training I received it's called Marconics, and it is really beautiful, a very, very high frequency. And I would love to share it with people, but it is something that I can do, actually, some of it to a certain level I can do also remotely. So that's something that's one of the things, that kind of the perks I thought, like, I really want to learn how to do this remotely, that really is effective and people can sense the difference. And I've been doing energy healing as a combination of what I do with the hypnosis. But now it's like I can take it to the next level, and I just love that stuff.
That's awesome. Our first guest on this show has also been trained in Marconics. So I think,
oh, really?
Seeing that this is, you're another reference for it, I'll definitely have to look into it more, because I love that idea. Ben called it multidimensional healing. I see that you're saying the same thing. That sounds really cool.
Yeah. And I'm going to be learning how to teach it. First training I've gotten was 2 years ago, and now I've finished my third level, which is the highest level, and now I'm going to be going back in April to Boston to to learn how to teach it. So I'm going to start teaching it locally. So we'll see how it goes.
One thing I'm seeing as a theme here, no matter what we're talking about, whether it's anxiety or trauma or trusting yourself, integrating your higher self, everything has to do with really being the same you on all of your dimensions, right? So we're trying to integrate, we're trying to be consistent between everything and not a different person on earth than we are in our higher self. We're trying to kind of bridge everything together. And that might be a great drawing to do for the show. So I don't know, Harry, if you've taken the free class at all and you know how to do the intuitive art.
No.
Okay. Do you want to draw with us or?
Oh, of course.
Okay, cool. So everybody here, even if you don't know how to decode your drawing, if you want, draw along with us. Just get some paper, get something to draw with, like some crayons or some pastels.
I just have a pen, but that's going to be fine.
All right, so we have somebody actually calling in. Shall we say hello?
Yeah.
All right, I've never taken a caller before, so hello.
There we go.
On with us, Ali, 56. Do you have something you want to add to the conversation? Okay, well, we will come back to you later. You can post your comment in the chat bar if you'd like to. Oh, and we have an amazing question. What is a higher self?
Okay, so here's, I know it's what I've been told by my own, you could say higher self, or by other people I connect with as I connect inwards, is not really. It's not really higher self, because higher self by itself declares hierarchy, and this is not in a hierarchical way, because it is just other levels within yourself, as it just mentioned it. So I think a better word for it that I kind of coined for it is like the greater self, because it's just greater and greater parts within you. It's just more and more of you that is connected, is integrated, and you are reaching greater and greater parts of yourself. Because our real self is, I think everybody who've done this experience before, when you are opening yourself to, it feels like you are greater, you are bigger, you are like this giant. I call it the giant within, call it the goddess, whatever you want to call it. It's that you feel that you have that within you. You really do. You have that in you. Like you feel like, wow, I'm just immense when you really connect with those parts of your greater self. So you are in a greater state. You are connected to source. You're connected to everything that you are, all the wisdom of all of the ages, the wisdom of your soul, your oversoul. So it really is a greater and greater parts of who you are as a soul and who you are as a being. Even a soul is limiting in some way, but as a being, as a consciousness, as awareness. So as part of your greater self, who you really are is more and more, again, a clearer, pure, and larger, greater versions of yourself. And again, it's not necessarily in your personality as you are right now, or different things. It's just, again, a slightly bigger thing than that. In it's all encompassing. If you think about it, if you think of your personality or your circumstances right now, if you think about, okay, I've lived several hundred lifetimes, it's not so limiting to have just this one type of personality, one type of thing. Although there are some themes in lives, and people like to repeat and learn certain things to completion. But it is interesting to see that the parts of your greater self, part of your soul, is a combination. And I'm sure you can concur with that, Rachel. And when you reach higher and higher levels within the self, it's a collective. It's a collective of all of those parts of that create your soul, your oversoul. Mm-hmm. So it's never one thing. It is a collective of all those lifetimes, of all this consciousness and awareness and levels and dimensions within yourself. So it's a collective of consciousness of it is, and slowly and surely, eventually it becomes to that one thing that is encompassing it all, to oneness, to source. So I hope I answered that question, higher self.
I'll give it a shot too. I've got a little diagram that I like to use. And even though
Oh
there
yeah.
really is no hierarchy in the fact that all of this is us, all of this is just one energy, we kind of have different layers to ourselves. So like the person that we are with our name, like I'm Rachel, this is Harry, you're C, Hillbilly. We know ourselves normally as this personality self, you know, we have a body and everything, but there's more to us. Like we're actually connected all the way up to source or God or whatever you like to call it. So we are part of this chain of energy that goes from our personality self all the way up to source. And you could say that our higher self is kind of like the first bump up on the list. Like our higher self is, you know, creating our reality. Our higher self is orchestrating this illusion that we're living in. It's also connecting us with our soul, with our oversoul, with source and God. It's kind of like the translator between this like big unstructured energy, this big all that is, down to the fact where like we can understand it. There's some kind of perspective on an individual life here. Because as you go up, the individual lives, the individual aspects kind of mesh into the one. So it's just a different dimension of ourselves.
And yeah, and just again, what to just give a slightly different. That's actually perfect, by the way. The levels too. But just another way of looking at it is like seeing it. You can see that it's just like this, maybe, like greater and greater circles around itself. So it's greater and greater parts of you that are more and more you are more conscious of. Because this is another problem, is that we have that veil. And the veil of ignorance as we come to this world and come to this life, because we need it, because otherwise we cannot complete the task and cannot really feel all that we can feel. So what I want to mention about that is like the more and more you integrate the higher selves, the thinner the veil, and eventually the veil will be gone, and you will be aware of everything that there is and more of it. So, and be connected to source all the time. And I gotta say, when I first, no, even like a few years back, I gotta be honest, like 4 or 5 years ago, my own personal veil was rather thick, and it took me, like, I had to go into a deep state to connect with it, with my higher self. But now it's just such a thin veil. It's just I can close my eyes, take a deep breath, and I'm there. So it's just everybody's progression. Everybody's on the journey. If you're on this call, you are on the journey. That's beautiful. And don't be.
The image I got when you were saying how we're integrating, we're thinning the veil, is like your little stick figure in the middle with all those rings out, and I want to just squish it all together.
Yes.
Like every layer has the same access.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, that's perfect. Perfect.
You'll have to take a picture of your picture, and I'll put it on the blog post for this because I think it's wonderful.
Okay.
Text it to me or email it to me or something.
Okay, very good. I shall. Now I want to answer a few more questions. Like it says, like, do you believe in a soul? Obviously, let's like this. We are soul beings that are experiencing a human life, not the other way around. We're not human beings with a soul. It's the other way around. It is the real you. It is the real us. And I've experienced, and I've had people experience it from all different religions, all different walks of life. It's just it is the most universal thing that we have. Again, either you're aware of it, ignorant of it. It does not matter. It is who you are. So I've stopped really trying to persuade people. It just is. If you're ready for it, beautiful. I can help you. If you're not, that's okay. Maybe it's not your purpose to know it right now at this point in your life, and that's okay too. So, and definitely reincarnate. As you're talking about reincarnations, it's even more complex now, because it's really at the level of the soul. There is no timeline. There's no time. The space-time continuum does not exist. So you really are experiencing all those lives as a soul simultaneously, and that is a beautiful thing, and that is really a interesting way of experiencing it and understanding it in that way. But you wanted to do some picturing, so you want to do some more drawing?
Yeah, so let's do a drawing. And I was thinking that a good prompt would be, how can I integrate my higher self?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So
absolutely.
For everybody who is on I'm just going to give you the link to where you can learn this for free. So do the drawing with us now, but then after the show, go to that link and learn how to decode it for yourself. You'll be taught in that class how to read your own drawing. So for now, just grab some colors, some paper, and do this with us. So the prompt is, how can I integrate my higher self? And basically what you're going to do is close your eyes, let your hand do all the drawing. So it's going to tell you when to switch color, when to stop. And then when you're done, you're going to look at your colors and they'll tell you the answer. And this is all about asking your higher self for guidance. So I'll decode mine for all of you, and then I would love it if you'd come on Facebook and post your drawings so that we can all see them and I can help you decode. And just search Intuitive Art Academy on Facebook to get to that group. Okay? All right. Okay, so we do have a question. So C. Hillbilly, you may ask as many questions as you'd like. We are running out of time, but I'm sure we'll be able to fit them in for you. So feel free. We love your questions. It really did spark some great conversation. Okay, so this is mine. If you're still drawing, feel free to continue drawing. But it's interesting. So I'll tell you what my colors mean and what my higher self is telling me to do. So right here, this is an action color for me. That's a really deep red. It goes down here, and it also is on the top and on the bottom. And when that happens, I like to think that that's framing the answer. So basically, I need to take action in order to integrate my higher self. And this is really just advice for me. Your advice is going to be different. Down on the bottom here is another kind of framing color, and this is orange, and this is my mental color, which means thinking or thought. And there's also a lot of orange in the middle. So it's going to involve some kind of thinking. There's green in the middle as well, which is my creativity color. And I like how it's making this kind of ribbon flag, and it has some scribble down here. It kind of feels fun. It feels like it's moving. And then on the top is yellow, which is my joy color. And joy for me is just, that means have fun, think about what's making me happy, what is making me smile. And so let's see, if I was to sum up what this advice is, it would be to take action on the things that I already know how to do. Because I already spend a lot of time with this question. I love integrating my higher self. So I already know how to do a lot of this stuff. So kind of you could brainstorm. I can have some fun thinking of ways that I already know how to integrate. Be creative with it. Kind of add to the experience that I was doing and ask myself how to bump that up by being creative with it. Maybe that'll involve reaching out to people and having new conversations like with Harry and with all of you. And then above all else, make sure that it's really something joyful. So your higher self really loves it when you're happy. Your higher self, there is no negativity at that level. There's no right or wrong, but I'm pretty sure that when you're happy, you are on path. So make sure that everything that I do, all the actions I take, everything I think about doing is coming from a place of joy. So that's basically what my higher self is telling me to do. Harry, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, it also looked like you are doing, it's like a gateway. It was a gateway into your joy, into your happiness. Yeah, so it's a mental gateway. So you need to go through it, and you're going through your creativity and through your joy because it's right in there.
Beautiful. I love that.
That's your gateway.
Excellent. So what I would do is I would hang this up on my wall as a reminder of that gateway and what it contains in it. I have lots and lots of drawings on my wall. Awesome. So Harry, I know you just had a pen, but do you want to share what you got?
Oh, I just did a concentric cycle.
Nice.
It just goes inwards. It's just like slowly going. It's just like this is just like bring it all together and just basically funneling it in this way, and just going inwards and just allowing it to come. It's just allowing, really. That's what I'm getting from it, allowing it to flow in, because a lot of it, again, we are getting in our own way, and that's what a lot of it, we just, again, and a lot of that, again, all we just talk about, fear, anxiety, doubt, and worry, it all just gets in our way of our own self, of our own wellness, and our own progression. So allowing ourselves to just be open and allowing it to flow in.
Well, we have about 5 minutes left. So why don't you tell people what you offer as services, and then any closing words you have for us.
Okay. So I think it's easiest if you go to my website at harrykroner.com and explore that a little. And this is also limited in some way. But what I'd like to tell you is that whatever it is you're holding on to, you can let go of. You can let go of, and you can do it fairly quickly and fairly easily. You don't have to hold on to it for the rest of your life. It is actually quite not necessary at all. And it's important to learn from it. And in everything that you experience, try to draw that part within you that is understanding, okay, why am I experiencing this? What is it trying to teach me? Anything, any experience, any emotion, anything. So allow yourself to start going further inwards. And I have some nice little videos about that. You can kind of do a quick exercises. And there's some more in my book, Freedom from Anxiety.
You have a great YouTube channel as well. I was actually just there earlier. You have some wonderful, like, full-length classes on there that I found.
Yeah. I've teamed up with a local TV, and we did some more higher production kind of higher production stuff. But it's that was nice. So the point is, you are in the process, in the evolution of your own self. And sometimes we need some help to get to the next level. It's that hand that reaches out to help you go walk the next step. It is a process. It's not a destination. Don't feel the destination. So allow yourself to let go of expectations of how it would be when I'll be fully awakened, when I'll be in that. Don't let go of that, because that's also holding you back. So allow yourself to learn more, and allow yourself to open more. And I'll be doing some more online classes as well, and giving yourself the opportunity to open up, letting go of the past, letting go of the far past, of this life and other lives, and receiving deeper guidance. And I do a lot of teachings, a lot of classes of how to connect with that part of you, that greater self, and other parts within your spirit guides. And I know you do that in your way as well. So it just goes to show you it's good. It's a good thing to do, and it's beneficial. It's fruitful. But also you have to remember, don't depend on it, and allow yourself to experience life to the fullest and move forward in anything that you do, and be curious, be filled with that knowing that you are just moving forward. Get out of your comfort zone, even if it's I think you mentioned that earlier at the email. Get out of your comfort zone, because it's only the stretching the comfort zone will only make you better and greater and reaching further and further. And once you do something once, that's it. You can do it again, and it's just a beautiful thing. And we all feel this little anxiousness, worry, and doubt. And it's important to know that there's actually very few very key tools that you can do to let go of that, so you don't have to experience and suffer through that process, because the process of expansion doesn't have to be painful. You have to like, okay, wow, this is going to happen now. It's going to happen, and okay, it's happened. You don't have to experience fear, doubt, and pain. It actually just slows it down. So allow yourself to know that you can let go of those traumatic experiences. You can let go of everything that is in your path, and move forward in your path, not somebody else's path, not the path that somebody else tells you this is the right way. No, the other way is the wrong way. Let go of that and allow yourself to develop your own connection with your true self and knowing what's best for you. Everybody's on their unique path, and that's really crucial to know. Don't follow anyone that tells you this is the only path. It's never true. The only path is to explore it yourself. It's your path, and make sure you allow yourself to learn and to discern and feel how it is to be on this path.
Well said.
Yeah.
And you did remind me of that. Like, there are things last year that I was doing that I got very anxious about all the time, like talking to new people or calling people on the phone or whatever, random things. And this year, there's been no anxiety around most of those. I'm still feeling a little unsure at times when I'm growing, but it's definitely not like it used to be. So you can really, outgrow some of that if you're willing to face it and use tools like Harry's saying. So also, Harry and I are teaching a longer course on this later in the year, and also a free course that's going to be about an hour probably. So get on his mailing list, get on his newsletter so that you can be updated about that, because we're going to be talking about this again, and you'll definitely want to be there.
Yeah, we're going to do, I think, we're still developing it, but it's going to happen in the next couple of months or so. So keep in touch and we'll do that. And yeah, please get on my mailing list because I have a lot of events, both local and online, that take place. And I would love to share and teach you and learn more. If you have any more questions, feel free to just send me to my contact on my website. So if you have any other questions about the subjects or anything like that, that is taking place. And look at the videos and stuff like that. I'd love to talk to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Harry. This was so fun, so engaging. I can't believe an hour's gone by already.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So we'll definitely.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. And thanks for answering all these questions. It was amazing.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you, Paul. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.